Jakes a drive. No. Right side Sakic. Spenrath can't redirect it. And Portland there to dump it back into the American zone. Blishen comes way out to make the play to Barnes. Barnes blue line. Barnes wheels in. Barnes with the puck. Takes it all the way in. Puck's loose. They score! Spenrath to clean up the mess. Spenrath, and I think Barnes and Blishen will get assists.
No doubt about it. Donnie Blishen will get an assist as he passes it up to Stu Barnes. Stu goes all the way in, takes 3 Portland defensemen with him into the net, was able to get a half shot off. The puck laid right out in front of Intward, and there was Greg Spenrath to knock it home. The Americans have jumped back out on top, 2-1, a power play goal for the Americans.
And they're 2 for 2.
The Americans' second goal! Scored by number 27, Greg Spenrath. The assist to number 14, Stu Barnes. And number 1, Don Blishen. A power play.
That's Blishen's 4th assist, I think, of the year. 2-1. It's either the 3rd or 4th. 2-1 Americans. First period, about 6 minutes to go. Tri-Cities with it. Centering pass for Bowen. Couldn't get it done. Now Bowen left side as Krause plays it down low. Portland jumps all over him. Puck goes around to the right side. It'll be picked up by Dirksen. Dirksen tried to play it back to Bowen. Couldn't. Puck's loose. Here come the Winterhawks. 3-on-2. Up the left side they go. Jamie Black trying to bring it in. Now it's loose in the slot right in front of the Americans' net. But Tri-Cities there to break up the play. Dagner tried to headman the pass out to center ice for Dirksen. Couldn't do it. Now it comes up to Terry Dagner. Dagner blue line offside. And Dagner takes a shot. High sticking will be the call.
And Devin Dirksen wants to go over there and try to police this.
Dirksen saw that one happen. Is all set to take a piece of Mike Ruark. Dagner got high stick big time. Boy, he really got unloaded on. And the Winterhawks will give up another dumb penalty.
And Krause is ready to go at it right now.
Now Krause and Jorgensen exchange friendly discussion.
Davis has got his pencil. He's sharpening it up as he's writing down everybody.
Making a list and checking it twice. Krause is going to go. Jorgensen is going to go. And I don't know who else. Let's take a quick timeout with the Americans leading 2-1.
Part of the survival of the fittest exclusively on pay-per-view. It's the Survivor Series. 10 teams of 4 men attempt to decimate their opponents until all members of a team are eliminated. Will the Hulkamaniacs survive the $1 Million Team? Will the Heenan family eliminate the Ultimate Warriors? Roddy's Rowdies take on Rude's Rude. The King's Court beats the 4x4s, and the Dream Team squares off with the Enforcers. Be a survivor on Thanksgiving night. Contact your cable system now and order the Survivor Series.
Back at Tri-Cities Coliseum, as referee Brad Dave still working on his Christmas list down there. Well, we got Krause and Jorgensen both gone, but Jorgensen may have bought himself a big one there.
Well,
and I don't know what else.
Degner got a piece of somebody's stick in the face. I didn't quite catch the number on the back of the Winterhawk jersey, but Degner really hit the ice, number 19 for the Americans. He seems to be skating around pretty good right in front of the Americans bench there. And I know that they're down there, Spenrath is down there talking at the referee circle right in front of the official scorers table, trying to get things worked out with one of the linesmen. Got a quick score for you, Kirk, in the WHL. Victoria over at Saskatoon tonight. The hapless Victoria Cougars, whoa, whoa, whoa. They are finding themselves behind the Blades 3-1 after 1 period of play.
Well, now I see Davis giving a roughing indication. And Spenrath is making some indications.
I wonder if Davis has ever worked at a police force before. I mean, he's got that thing laid open just like you'd see one of the traffic cops do.
He's got a ticket book working there. Well, they continue to sort this out. Let's take another quick timeout with the Americans leading 2-1. Gorley got 2 minutes for high sticking. Kraus and Jorgensen got 2 each for roughing. And Jorgensen got an additional 10-minute misconduct for lipping off at the referee.
What that means is the Tri-City Americans have their 3rd power play of the night.
Well, and they're 2 for 2 so far.
Well, their power play has just been incredible, Kirk.
Spenrath with 2 goals. Another hat trick? No.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The Hart wouldn't be able to handle it. Mine or his.
Yeah, 36.25% the Americans are clipping off this year. 29 for 80 in the power play department.
Pair of 8s out there, Meiden and Sakic. Meiden wins the draw, back to Rick Fry. The Winterhawks have moved him to a defenseman position, and he's playing very well. Puck shot into the Tri-City zone. Blishin will leave it for Jakes. Tri-City's on the power play. Jakes steps out from behind the net, and he'll bring it right straight up the middle. Headman pass into the slot. Knocked away. Now Spenrath able to carry it in. Puck's loose as Portland trying to fire it back out. Now Barnes will wheel back into center ice with Meiden to get it. Barnes taking off the puck. Now back to Meiden. Meiden getting around Barnes with the puck. Scott Meiden now back into his own, back into neutral ice as he had to reset. Left side, and the Winterhawks try to drop it into the American zone. Can't. Jakes with the puck. Jakes turns, looks around, goes up the left wing or right wing boards to Sakic. Sakic wheels, right side Reeves. Kyle Reeves with it in the slot. Reeves left for Spenrath. Wouldn't go. Now Barnes there to steal it away. They get Barnes and Jakes at the point. Right in the slot. Nice pass. Reeves shot. Blocked. Intward dives on top of it along with Rick Fry, and I'm not sure, but what Fry didn't make the save and may get called for a delay.
Well, I don't see Davis making any indication of that, but it should have been. Rick Fry dove right on the puck and was able to do Intward's job, as guess who was standing on the back door waiting for the gift? Greg Spenrath. Hat trick was sitting there waiting for him.
Yes, sir. 4:01 to go in the first period. 2-1 Tri-Cities. Kirk Williamson, Tony Ott at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Another sellout. Face off right circle, Fleetwood. There are seats available before every game, a few hundred. So you need to trot yourself over here and pick them up, because there is an opportunity to watch hockey. They also have a season ticket exchange program going on. You can call the box office for details. Face off, won by the Winterhawks in their own zone, and they pull up. Freeze it against the boards. 55 seconds remaining in the penalty to Brian Gorley. And the Americans on their 3rd power play of the night. Scotty Levens with Nibs and Lindsay. Levens wins the draw. Lindsay with it. Right side to Jakes. Jakes starts in from the right circle. Shoots. Stick save by Intward. Back to Barnes and gets by him. Harrison there to pick it up. But he goes down. Jakes back to save it. Now Nibs leaves it in for Levens, but a shot back to the point. Nibs saves it. Fry and Nibs dig for the puck along the boards along with Jakes. And we got a stoppage of play as Jakes turns around and lays one right on Harrison's face mask. Unfortunately, it's real hard to hurt a guy when you hit him on the plastic.
Yeah, Harrison, Brad Harrison, big right winger there. He's been in 10 games so far this season. 5 goals, 4 assists for 9 points. He's right up there in the pack, 20 penalty minutes so far this season, and he's been all over the ice on this penalty killing team for the Winterhawks. He's out there trying to get something established, and he really looks like he's the only one that's really come to play tonight for the Winterhawks.
31 seconds, or 3:31 remaining in the period. 31 seconds left in the penalty to Gorley. And on the face-off is won by Portland. Kinneber dumps it into the Tri-City zone. Blishin will leave it beside the net. Back for it is Sandwith. Tran Sandwith as the Americans break it out. Sandwith almost misfired on the pass. Now he'll bring it up. Turan to the red line. Takes it all the way to the blue line. Turan takes it in. Takes a hit from Fry. Hello there. And Fry flips it up into the crowd.
Turan Sandwith putting on the Wayne Gretzky moves down there, huh? The big kid trying to work it in down into the circle, and with 7 seconds remaining on the Americans' power play, he says, what the heck, I'm going to take it in. I'm going to get my shot, huh?
Tell me, do the scouts love this guy or not?
Oh, they certainly do.
6'4", 210, eligible for the draft this year out of Stony Plain, Alberta. Face-off, won by the Winterhawks, back to the Tri-City zone. Power play's over as Podlubny drives it back into the Portland zone. Fry goes behind the net to get the puck from Intward. He takes a big hit there from Lindsay. And Meiden goes behind the net to pick up the puck as it comes to the left circle. Meiden with it. Headman pass, right side Gorley. Gorley takes a crunch. He gets it into the zone, but Sandwith stood Gorley up and about took his head off. Here comes Lindsay up the left wing boards now. Lindsay, headman pass left for Dirksen. Devin Dirksen drops it back. Lindsay shot. Saved by Intwert. That one went right between the pads. If it had a little more mustard on it, it would have been in there. But Intwert saw it go behind him and just fell over backwards and landed on it.
I wonder how many beats his heart missed on that one.
Several.
As that was a great play by Devin Dirksen to drop back pass to Billy Lindsay. And Billy Lindsay had a clear avenue of a puck shot right on Intwert. And it did. It bounced right in between his pads. And he's able to sprawl back behind him. It's a good thing he was out far enough where he was able to recover that. He covered it up for a faceoff.
Levens against Innes on the faceoff. 2.5 minutes to play in the first period. Levens wins the draw. Puck goes back behind the Portland net. Winterhawks back to get it. Ruark feeds it up the right wing boards. Ruck there to cut it off. The Ruckster to Nibs. Nibs tries to fire it back along the boards. No. Portland there. Judson Innes. Bad pass. Stolen away by Jakes. Here comes Jakes with the rush. Up the right side. Offside. Tri-Cities. Levens in offsides just. As Jakes putting on some moves.
Yeah, the defensive people for the Americans are really putting on an offensive show as they're taking it way into the Portland Winterhawks zone. Not the style that we've seen recently in the home games, as they usually try to dump and chase. But the Americans have the size and the speed, and they're able to go in and try to get an offense started with their D-men.
Dorshak and Levens on the face-off at the blue line. Outside the Portland zone, Smith with the puck as Dorshak wins it. Back to Fry. Fry, cross ice left for Dorshak. Nibs trying to jump on it. He gets to it. Gets it to Levens. Levens center. Spenrath. Wouldn't happen there. Jakes with it. Back to Spenrath. Spenner, cross ice left, but Fry will get to it for the Winterhawks. There's Spenrath picking it up again in the left circle. Spenrath tries to wheel around behind the net, and Fry takes him off. Nibs goes into the corner hard with Brennan Smith. Now the Americans try to center. Can't do it. Goes all the way over to the corner. Spenrath, Ruck, Nibs, dig for the puck. Shot in, right side, Levens. Kept in play at the blue line. Now it gets by, and Portland has it. Dorshak, right side to Thudium, plays it off the boards. Shoots it back into the slot. Picked up there as Daniluk is taken out of the play. Shot taken for the left point. Blishin makes the save. Puck's loose in the air. Hit by a Heist and fired back out to center ice. Happens to be on goal. Intwert will play it. Off to the right side to Jamie Black. Back to center ice with it. Levens and Daniluk scramble for the puck. Now Thudium with it at the blue line. Thudium goes down. Scherstenka, bad pass, picked up. Thudium shoots it down the slot. Loose puck right in front of the net. Shot for the right side, no. And the puck comes back out to the blue line. Tri-Cities with it. Sakic to Barnes. Sakic, Barnes. Here comes Sakic. Sakic shoots it in. Block. Oh! And down goes Kyle Reeves. He got cross-checked right into the net. No whistle there. I thought we were going to have one for sure. Back to center ice goes Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka fires it along the boards for Reeves. Reeves with the puck. Brings it right straight up the middle. Blue line. Reeves drive. He fired it right over the net. Chopped that by Portland. Can't get it. Barnes with it. Barnes. He scores! Stu Barnes! Tucked it right by Dean Intwert. He had no chance.
From the shot off of Kyle Reeves, it bounces off the glass, bounces into the corner. Stu Barnes goes retrieve the loose puck, was able to go directly towards the net with 20 seconds remaining in this first period. He was able to deke out Intwert, put him down to the ice, make him commit first. He was able to tuck it home. The Americans take a 2-goal lead. They now lead 3-1.
And the faceoff will come at center ice. Get the call for you in a second.
Tri-City Americans' third goal. Scored by number 14, Stu Barnes. The assist to number 8, Brian Sakic, and number 24, Kyle Reeves, at 19.
And with 12 seconds remaining, puck's loose in the Tri-City zone. Americans play it back to center ice. Bowen in a foot race. He won't get to it before Smith does. Smith gets wood on it. We get a whistle icing the call. Now Bowen, Fry, and looks like maybe Calvin Nibs all of a sudden down there hollering at each other.
Wade Smith for the Americans is involved in that, and he's the one that's
gone
with
Wade
Fry.
Smith. Okay. Boy, he still
Wade
wants
Smith
a piece of Fry.
really wanting to get something going.
Fry crunched Loring apparently down in the corner, and that made Wade Smith see red, and he was all set to take a chunk of Rick Fry. Something about pulling his head off and pouring the sand out. Fry and, well, let's see who's going to go for Tri-Cities.
Oh, 2 penalties against the Americans.
Bowen goes, and Smith goes. So Portland will have a power play, apparently. Comes at 19:57 of the period. Let's see what we got here. As Davis is having a word with both players. They send Fry off the ice. Now Smith comes out. He'll go off the ice.
Portland Winterhawks penalty
And
number 14, Rick Fry, 2 minutes for roughing. Tri-Cities penalty to number
roughing.
9, Jason Bowen, 2 minutes for boarding. To number 11, Wade Smith, 2 minutes for roughing at 19.
Okay, Fry and Smith each get 2 for roughing, and Jason Bowen 2 for boarding.
Equals Winterhawks' first power play tonight.
That's right. And only 3 seconds of it will happen this period. Kinneber on the faceoff with Spenrath, and that's the end of that as Spenrath ties up Kinneber right away. Now we get a little scrum in front of the net. Fleetwood having words with Brad Loring.
And this isn't the time to get going at it, because then what happens?
Now Fleetwood is
It's the period's over. This is really not smart to get yourself involved in any kind of altercation now, because that means you're done for the game.
now, but Lovney steps in between Fleetwood and Loring, and he obviously carried more weight than the 2 linesmen, because that's when Fleetwood and Loring both decided to give it up for now.
Coach Kozubak signaling Davis to come on over here and wanting him to come over.
He wants a word, but that wraps up the first period with a score at the end of 1. Tri-Cities 3, Portland 1.
An important message from the cable television industry.
Local cable companies are glad to offer their customers a wide variety of programming choices. But beginning January 1st, the Federal Communications Commission will force cable companies to comply with a complex set of FCC rules called syndicated exclusivity, or Syndex. These rules could affect what you see on cable television. The Syndex rules may force your local cable company to black out some of your favorite TV programs on regional or other out-of-town stations if a local broadcast station has requested exclusive program rights. We don't like the thought of any program blackouts, but we must, by law, comply with these rules. You can be assured that we'll work to minimize any confusion or disruption caused by Syndex. We'll also stay in touch with you to keep you informed on how the Syndex rules may affect your program choices.
This message has been brought to you by the National Cable Television Association and your local cable company.
Rob Kraus. For Portland, Judson Innes, Harrison with Wayne Anchikoski, and Ruark and Fleetwood. Now Fleetwood brings it up the left side as the Winterhawks win the draw. He dumps it into the Tri-City zone. Kraus behind the net, bangs it off the glass. Back into center ice, and Fleetwood will have to go back for it. We got a whistle.
And it will be a penalty against the Portland Winterhawks. And boy, you don't come out of the locker room to start the second period off with a power play and then end up getting a penalty yourself. A high sticking call will be called against Mike Ruark, who is probably not on the top 10 list right now for Coach Ken Hodge.
Number 3, Mike Rourke, 2 minutes for Heinz.
Probably on the top 10 people he'd like to have his hands around their throat, maybe.
It's the look from Coach Hodge all the way over to the sin bin over here. You can just feel it. You can see it.
The little bullets.
Whew. That completely wipes it out. Now the Americans get to go a little 4-on-4 for about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Then they'll have a 20-second power play themselves. That completely wiped out the enthusiasm and the motivation for the team right there.
Tri-Cities 2 for 3 on power plays so far. As the Americans win the draw, Spenrath goes into the Portland zone after it. Again, it's 4-on-4 as Nibbs brings it around to Kraus. Kraus flipping it back behind the Portland net. Americans trying to keep it in play. Now Nibbs goes in hard with Brandon Smith. They leave the puck along beside the wall. Out to Scherstenka. He goes around the left side. Scherstenka shoots just wide of the net. And I mean, he missed by 4 inches. Back along the wall. Winterhawks try to bring it up to center ice. Scherstenka cuts it off, plays it to Kraus. Back to Dan Scherstenka. And he brings it up. Scherstenka, young man from Edmonton, dumping it into the Portland zone. Back for it, Brandon Smith for Portland. Smith starts up the left wall, loses it to Lindsay. Back out front. Kraus goes left now to Podlubny. Podlubny firing it in left of the Portland net. Winterhawks go after it. Smith brings it up left side to Jan Chikoski. Picked off there by Judson Innes. Here comes Innes, 2-on-1. Picked his pocket, did Podlubny. But Innes brings the puck back, takes it off the wall, up to Fleetwood. Fleetwood in the slot, shoots, hit somebody, but it didn't hit the goalie, and the Americans have the puck. Here comes Lindsay up the left side, 2-on-1 with Dirksen. Lindsay, drop it to Dirksen, shoots, score! Devin Dirksen!
Billy Lindsay, great pass over to Devin Dirksen as he went and skated right to the top of the slot, 35 feet out. He was able to do the patented wrist shot that Dirksen has got, and everyone knows about it except Intworth. And he was unable to...
He knows about it now.
He certainly does. It went high and up over the glove hand shoulder, cradled in the upper corner of the net. The Americans lead by 3 now, 4-1. And not a power play either. They still have the power play coming up.
City Americans' 4th goal. Scored by number 9, Devin Dirksen. The assist to number 25, Bill Lindsay. And number 3, Dave Podlubny at 1:37.
Well, that's a home assist call. Puck goes back behind the net. Someone said one time that you should always have 2 assists when you're at home. I can buy that. Now Barnes steals the puck at the blue line, but he loses it there. Fleetwood brings it back for Portland. Fleetwood up the right side. Brent Fleetwood to the corner, tried to center, but Jakes is there to break it up. Now Jakes brings it up for the Americans, 4-on-2. Barnes to the right side. Stewie wheels in. Barnes right in the slot. Jakes picks up the puck. Jakes takes it in, shoots, scores! Either Jakes or Reeves. And that will be a power play goal.
It certainly will, Kirk, as they went in on Intworth. And it was 4 Americans against the goaltender for the Winterhawks and 1 defenseman, as they were able to get him from all corners. And I believe Steve Jakes or Stu Barnes, either one of those 2 gentlemen, they were down there in front of the net. And we're going to get the official on it, but I believe Steve Jakes from Stu Barnes. And the Americans lead 5-1.
City Americans' 5th goal. Scored by number 4, Steve Jakes. The assist to number 14, Stu Barnes. A power play at 2:12.
And the faceoff will come at center ice. It'll be Scott Meiden against Stewie Barnes. Meiden wins the draw, but Barnes will get to it for the Americans. Barnes in traffic, drops it back to Scherstenka. And the puck tied up at center ice. As Sakic gets to it, takes it into the Portland zone. Portland trying to break it up, can't do it. Americans with it. Barnes plays it off the wall to Scherstenka. His shot. As Sakic tried to redirect, couldn't get to the puck. Saved by Intworth down on the corner left. Now Ruark losing the puck in the corner. Quick shot blocked. Again, that one taken by Reeves. Now Portland trying to bring it up. Jamie Black. Black dropping it off to Meiden at the blue line. Meiden shot. Wide in the net right side. Portland scores as they chop it in. On the rebound, it came right back off the wall and was chopped in by the Winterhawks That was number 9, Brad Harrison, I believe.
Brad Harrison picks up the puck as these boards now, after second year of play, are able to get the players their bounces, as Scotty Meiden was able to rifle a shot just wide of the post, bounced off the back boards, was able to come back out in front, and Blishen was out of the goal, out of the net, and Brad Harrison was able to pick it up and pop it in for the Winterhawks. The Americans still lead it 5-2.
2:54.
Jamie Black and Meiden on the assists. For Portland, it's 5-2 Tri-Cities. Winter walks with it, stolen by Dirksen. Dirksen walks in, Dirksen breakaway. Dirksen shoots. Skate save, shot by Degner, hit the side of the net. The Americans with it, into the corner, it goes hard. Dirksen and Bill Lindsay. Lindsay tripped up. Puck comes off the boards to Daniluk. Daniluk and Degner fight for it, picked up by Smith. The Americans bring it back. Degner shot, blocked. Nice save by Intwert, and he was in big traffic. Back out to center ice. It's 1-on-2 as Podlubny and Thudium eyeball each other. Now Portland with it. Dorchak shot blocked. Blishen. Nice save by Donnie Blishen, but he's upended.
And that was a very close call right there. As Donnie Blishen is still down on the ice, Kirk, that reminded me right there of a very serious play last year in the NHL.
That's right.
Clint Malarchuk was sprawled out in a very similar situation, and he was cut right underneath the face mask and cut up in his jugular vein. Right there, fortunately, Donnie Blishen was not injured as Billy Lindsay went straight up over the top of him, and that is a position that a goaltender has no mercy. He is all open to the hockey skate and player. And Donnie Blishen's up, and he shook it off, and boy, that was a close one.
Judson Ennis and Scott Levens on the face-off. Won by Levens. Levens has it along the boards. Now Ruck dives in with Fry as they try to dig the puck loose. Spinrath steps in, gets the puck. He has 2 goals tonight. Puck back to center ice. Ruark couldn't handle it. Back into the Portland zone. Levens being hooked up by Ruark as Fry knocks the puck down. It'll come back to Jakes at center ice. Jakes with it. Fires a pass cross ice left. Hits Spinrath in the face, and Spinner's there. Centers for Nibbs. Nibbs a shot, no. Steered it toward the net and wouldn't get anything happening. Nibbs around behind the net. Levens, his shot missed or blocked as Nibbs picks it up in the left corner. He takes a big hit. Right back to Nibbs. Shot back out to the point. Gets by Ruck. Foot races on, but Jakes will get to it first. Jakes with traffic coming from behind Harrison. Shot out to center ice. Fry's there. Dumps it in. It's knocked down by Ruck off a high stick. And they'll bring it back to center ice.
You know, the best thing that the Portland Winterhawks could do for goaltender Dean Intwert tonight is to move all 5 of the Tri-City Americans out of the slot. They are camped out in front.
Yeah.
There is nobody. There's one rear guard for the Americans, and he is almost halfway down the slot himself. And there are 4 players standing right on top of Intwert, and the Portland Winterhawks there, too. You take a shot from out at the point, Kirk, I think I could score from out there.
Just about. There's a lot of room. Face-off right circle. Meiden against Loring in the Tri-City zone. Loring, Bowen. Shot taken from the point wide of the net left as Sebastian teed one up. Now it comes around to Meiden behind the net. Krause puts a hit on him. Fleetwood with it. Plays it back to Meiden. Meiden trying to get it out to Fleetwood. Stolen by the Americans. Comes out to the left side. Wade Smith. Headman pass left for Bowen. Got by his stick. Bowen and Loring race in after it. Loring wipes out. Whoa, there goes the glass.
It broke the glass.
Big hit there as Sebastian and I think Loring hit the glass.
And Kirk, the only other time I've ever seen that was the Chicago Blackhawk game back in the early 70s as a guy was checked right into the glass and it busted it up and he went out with a collapsed lung and he landed in the front row. That is incredible. It shattered into millions of little pieces.
That material is called Herculite. It's the